Jai Jinendra. Welcome to Adults Class 2, Practical Applications of Jainism. Let's start with the Nokar mantra. Namo Anihantaranam, Namo Siddhanam, Namo Vairyanam, Namo Jayanam, Namo Dosasavanam, Eso Pachanaka, Paramam. So 2 discussions ago, I said something controversial that requires a little bit more explaining. I told you that there was a big conspiracy outside of these walls, similar to the way that we pretend there's a Santa Claus for kids. Now, the conspiracy consists of people telling you 2 things. The first thing is that you are good and doing good things. The second thing is that you are having a good life. Okay? So, why are these lies? Does anybody remember? Why is this a conspiracy? Was anybody here 2 weeks ago?
I missed it.
Yeah, because you could be doing better.
You could be doing better. That's right.
You're not.
There was one.
Well, let's talk about what is a good life. Well, when you go out there, what are they going to tell you is a good life that you're doing well at? Well, you're taking care of your family.
Yeah.
Good job. You have never been to jail. Great job. You pay your taxes to support your community. Great job. That's part of the social contract. Maybe you don't cause trouble, That's great. You're moving up in the world. I'm so proud of you. You're moving up in the world. That's great. You're living a good life. You're doing good things and you have a good life. You're a nice person. They tell you that. Hey, you're nice. You're good. You're doing good things. You're having a good life. All lies. Okay? So what I'd like to teach you is a phrase, if you've never heard it before. The phrase is cui bono. It's a Latin phrase. Has anybody ever heard of that? Cui bono. It means who benefits. Okay? So it's often, you use it to examine who benefits in a given situation, and then you can understand people's underlying motivations or consequences of certain actions. Okay? Especially in situations where there's a hidden agenda or conflicting interests, right? It helps you uncover biases when you ask cui bono, who benefits. Now, in America, we're all about the money. So we translated that phrase to follow the money, which I'm sure you've heard of. That is, well, if you're thinking about, well, why is Google offering me this free service? Well, follow the money. Who is paying Google and who is doing this and that? And you follow the money and you see what happens. You see that they're spying on you. And you didn't know that before, right? So this is a Latin phrase, cui bono, who benefits. So let's talk about it, okay? Oh, you're taking care of your family. Whose priority is that? Initially, it seems like your family's priority. Okay? Oh, you've never been to jail. Whose priority is that?
I guess yours.
It seems like it's the priority of the people who make the laws. That you've never broken the law. Now let me ask you something. Do those seem like good people to you? You know who makes the laws. You've seen them on TV. Do they seem like good people?
Mixed.
Or are they trying to make the laws to keep some people down and lift other people up based on who they get money from? Okay? You pay taxes to support your community. Whose priority is that? Well, we ask ourselves, cui bono? Who benefits? What do they do with your taxes? Do they use it to commit violence?
Partially.
Maybe it's to an extent.
Partially is a little bit of an understatement. The greatest expenditure of our budget by far is defense. Okay, maybe you don't cause trouble. Cui bono? Who benefits if you don't cause trouble? The people who like things the way they are. Do you like things the way they are? You are nice. Okay? People will tell you that. Hey, come on in. People will tell you that outside these four walls. It's a big conspiracy. It's a big lie. They say you're nice. You're doing good things. I like you. You're living a good life. I would like to live your life because you're nice. Who benefits from your niceness? Is it you? No?
No.
It's them. They like that you're nice. So now you know why these are all lies. It sounded so good at the beginning, right? It sounded so great. You were wondering what I was going to talk about. It sounded so good. Take care of your family. Never been to jail. Pay taxes. Don't cause trouble. Moving up in the world. Oh, we missed that one. Moving up in the world. Who benefits from you moving up in the world? Is it you? On some level, oh, I get more prestige at work. I make more money. Do you need that money? What is that prestige at work doing for you? It's only giving you more responsibilities to make more money. Does your moving up in the world have anything to do with your life? No, it sounds so good. You wondered what I was going to be talking about, right? How is it a conspiracy that outside of these walls, everybody out there is going to tell me, oh, you're good, you're doing good things, and you have a good life. Because you take care of your family, you never been to jail, you pay taxes, you don't cause trouble, you're moving up in the world, and you're nice. Now we know the power of this phrase, right? Cui bono, whose benefits? So now the conspiracy is laid bare, okay? You're not following your priorities. You're following the priorities of others. So how do you determine your priorities? You determine them by living an examined life. What is an examined life? Okay, so first, before we get to an examined life, questions or comments about that?
But go ahead. Go ahead.
No.
So yeah, I mean I agree with this, but also like, don't we also look forward for all those things where we take care of the family. People say we are nice.
Mm-hmm.
We look forward for more respect, and that is what our motive is, right? I mean,
Why?
I mean that's how the society have been, and like it's like that once you like you have earned enough money, the second the thing comes as respect in society once you're done with the money. So those are the stages.
It's like that song, Money, Power, Respect. It's the stages.
Yeah, those are the stages, right? I mean, in our
But why?
society. I mean, that's how I have seen it.
Well, your term that's a conspiracy, a lie, I think it's a little bit strong. I think if all of the opposite of those are true, like you went to jail, you were not taking care of your family, you were cheating on your taxes, those would all be bad for you and society. So people saying you're doing a good job, maybe it's
Motivated.
it's for them, but it's also the opposite, is that you would be doing a terrible job.
And don't we do the same thing with our kids too when they do a good job? Hey, you're doing a nice job, this and that. So like it has been. They have also been,
Sure. Okay, little strong. I'm trying to wake you up. Okay? Sure, it might be a little strong. I'm trying to wake you up. I'm trying to have you live an examined life. Thanks for everybody just joining us. We talked about the big conspiracy that we talked about 2 discussions ago that I'd like to explain a little bit more. That is, when you go out there, people are telling you you are good and doing good things and you are living a good life. It's all a lie. And we talked about why it was all a lie. Other questions or comments?
I think it's the construct of the society or the community which distinguishes the good and the bad deeds, and that's why every religion kind of supports, irrespective of which religion you belong to, there is an underlying theme which says that you have to do good, irrespective of, again, religion. So
Absolutely. You have to do good. I am telling you, you have to do good. But their definition of good is not the good That is the truth. That is, what is a good life? That's not a good life, what I mentioned. You're absolutely right. You have to do good. But the problem is we don't understand the correct definition of good. And we do that by living an examined life. So what is an examined life? Does anybody know?
I think it's to do with how people perceive you rather than how you would want to live. I think that would fall under examined life.
So it's good to live your life based on how people see you?
Again, there's a thin line between how you want to live your life versus how people perceive you are living your life.
Right. So I'll give you an example of an examined life. We're vegetarian, we grew up vegetarian, but if you never ask why, if you just say, that's because how I grew up, you are living an unexamined life. An examined life means you question your beliefs, values, and actions, and you see if they comport with one another. If you never ask yourself why I'm a vegetarian, you don't really know. You just grew up that way. You're just living on someone else's priority. Someone else decided for you that you're vegetarian, and then you just went along with it. Well, someone else has defined for you what's nice, and you went along with it. Someone else has defined for you what is breaking the law and what is just and unjust, and you just went along with it. That's an unexamined life. But an examined life, is when you grow up, you say, do I want to be a vegetarian? Why do I want to be one? Well, it could be for any number of reasons. But as long as you believe in one of them and then are vegetarian because of that, well, now you are living an examined life. And it's not just that. It's everything. It's, why do I do this for work? Why do I want to be married to this person? Why do I want kids? Is it for me or is it for somebody else? Did I have kids because of my parents were pressuring me to have kids? Did I go to this school because somebody said it was a good school? Did I go pick this job because that was the most money? Well, is that a good reason to pick a job because it was the most money? It might be. But you don't know because you never examined your life. So what we call that is intellectual honesty, right? Where your actions comport with your beliefs. And you have actually questioned yourself to come up with a conclusion for those beliefs. So how do you examine your life? So maybe this is the first time you're hearing of living an examined life.
Yeah. Because I have born and brought up in India.
Right.
I have done actions just doing it because everyone else does it, and we don't ask much questions. Why am I doing it?
That's how we have been, our upbringing has happened. It's for all. It's not for. So then, without a purpose, without a reason, how would you set up a goal sheet for next year? So why would I do that? So there is always a reason of doing something.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's, otherwise if I have no reason, no goal, then why would I do that?
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. But all of us do things without reason. Okay? Can anybody give me an example of something you do just because you have always done it? How about this? Do you know why you're praying?
I was about
every
to
day?
say that we tell kids, or maybe when we were kids, when we started going to Dera, sir, we did not know why are we going, just because parents are taking us.
Right.
Now we know, but when we started, we didn't know.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you know what the words mean that you say when you pray? Do you know what it's supposed to do, what the outcome is supposed to be when you pray? Do you know that you are praying to a particular God or not, or why is that is, or do you expect that person to intervene in your life? How about that? Does everybody here know that?
And if we really do why and understand the real meanings, we wouldn't, not only, other things, but even the praying, we would not just do it for the sake of going and praying. We would actually, we're supposed to take, whatever his sanskar and all in our life and learn from that, instead of just praying and I'm done and now I'm free to do what I want to do. So,
Yeah, people do the mala right here. It's a great example. People do the mala. Oh, I did 108 naukars.
Yeah.
How long did that take you? Did it take you an hour? Oh, no, it took me 10 minutes. What were you thinking about when you did that? No answer, right? Well, it's But if you say out there, if you say I did 108 no cars, people say, great job, you're a good person, you're doing good things, you have a good life. I wish I was like you. So how do you examine your life? First, you set aside time. You have to have time to examine your life. Maybe one day we'll do that here. I'm always looking for class topics, so maybe I'll give you more paperwork to do and we'll examine our lives. Okay, so you find a time to examine your life, set aside time. You ask yourself questions about your life. Ask yourself about your relationships, your career, your health, your goals, your values, and your emotions. You know, what are my core values and am I living in alignment with them? What aspects of my life bring me joy and fulfillment? What aspects of my life bring me pain? Okay, what are my strengths and weaknesses? What are my long-term goals? We've definitely done that here. How do I handle challenges and setbacks? We've also done that here. Am I nurturing healthy relationships? How do I prioritize my time and energy? Okay, so you set aside time and you ask yourself questions about your life. And you reflect on your past experiences and the lessons that you learned from them. And maybe you write it down so you don't have to keep remembering it each time you do it. So maybe you write it down and you come to a list of certain things. Maybe you ask somebody. I'm always open to it. If you need help, I'm open to it. You practice mindfulness and meditations. And then you set goals after you've done all that, okay? You set goals, and then based on what you have done and the analysis of your life, you set goals for where you want to be. And then you take action to accomplish those goals. It sounds very easy when I say it. It's very difficult, okay? Extremely difficult. Yeah. But I don't get to be part of your life, you know? I don't get to help you through that, okay? I just get you for an hour a week, okay? So I just have to say easy things that sound easy but are incredibly hard. And I know they're incredibly hard. Okay, so we've talked about the big lie, the biggest conspiracy theory out there, okay, and why it's a lie, and how to overcome it by living an examined life. Questions or comments about that?
So for our age, I think that's a good thing to do. But for kids and all, you can't go into examined life for them.
Sure, you can. I'd go into that with my kids. I don't tell them using the words that I've told you about it. Here's what I've said to my kids. I've told them about follow the money, but it's very hard for them because they're not used to what's a contract, what's money, what is a business relationship. What I've told them is they have relationships at school. So I've told them there is a secret world underneath the world that we live in, and you can access it. And you can access it by asking yourself one question. Say, why is this person saying that to me? And then what happens is you access a secret world underneath the real world. That is, oh, this person is asking me for my name because she wants to be my friend. This person is asking me about the test because she hasn't studied for the test and she knows I've studied for the test. This person is asking me about this other person because he is in love with her and he doesn't know that. So you see that is how we can see people's underlying motivation. If I tell my kids, cui bono, who benefits, they're not gonna know that or understand that. But we can certainly discuss it with our kids, and they understand it. And we can certainly discuss that with our kids in an age-appropriate way.
But if I start doing that, I understand and I completely now on the same page after touching 40 saying that, okay, yeah, all the relationship needs some benefits and that's why they are there, okay? And it's good to now, instead of knowing 50 people, I'm very happy to know only 5 people and I'm very happy about it. But if I put that thinking right now in my 10-year-old son and 14-year-old daughter, they would actually, I don't know whether even would trust a world and would be able to make a good relationship. And I don't know whether at that age, do they have that kind of the boys and girls have any kind of motive? Because that's when I have always heard about it and I believe in that now, that whatever friends you make in school and college, those are your the friends for the life.
Mm.
Because there is no motive behind anything what they are doing. They are just doing it, and if their people are smart, then it's there. But I don't know whether in that age that thinking is there.
Certainly. So what you've described is a resistance to break your child's innocence, which I can certainly understand. But the problem is you've gone too shallow. That is, you think the ultimate truth is that relationships are transactional, and you don't want to teach your kids that relationships are transactional, especially if they're really young, if they're 10, then they'll start to see the world cynically, and they'll start to use it to their advantage by manipulating people. The truth is that most relationships are transactional, and that we have to make them not transactional. We have to encourage a relationship where there is nothing to be gained by the one person. That is why we give to homeless people. That is why we do charity. That is why we do those things. I'm not expecting anything in return. I'm doing that out of compassion. I'm doing that. Maybe my ultimate motive is to help my soul, but that's not a transactional relationship. So break your child's innocence, but don't teach them that relationships are transactional. Teach them that we have to rise above transactional relationships. Teach them that a majority of relationships are transactional, but it's our job to make them not so. Other questions?
I like that.
Questions or comments from anybody online? I want to make sure that everybody's on the same page.
Well, these are some deep topics. Like I always wonder when I'm praying, my mind keeps on running everywhere. And what I've learned is over time is I say it loudly, so I'm hearing myself, so my thoughts don't go anywhere else other than where it should. But that doesn't last for more than maybe a couple of minutes, maybe 10 minutes max.
Right.
And then, but again, I want to go back to your question is, why are we praying? Is it for meditational purposes, or is it to avoid the ongoing thought process? Are we giving them a break? What is the reason?
Okay, so Kinjal asked, why do we pray? Anybody have the answer? Anybody remember?
I feel like we follow the trend. That's what I feel like. Because praying has a very deep meaning actually, and I don't know a lot of people really understand that. And so, I just feel like my mom has been taking me to a temple from 15 years, so I know that, okay, I have to do this, So maybe I'm doing because of that.
Right.
Internal peace.
We pray for internal peace.
Yeah, when you pray, you want to just be you and just let go all the thoughts.
Okay, we pray to let go of all of our thoughts.
To remind you you're a soul.
To remind you you're a soul.
Yeah, I was just going to say, think about your soul and stop thinking about everything else. That generally leads to bad karmas.
Well, I'm very surprised because there are many different types of prayer and they all mean different things, and nobody asked Kinjal, well, what type of prayer is he doing? That will tell you why he is praying. If he is doing the Navgar mantra, the purpose of the Navgar mantra is in the meaning of the words. I bow down to the other ends. I bow down to the Siddhas. The purpose of that is to remind yourself of those qualities. Remember that you have to apply those qualities to your life. Remember that Jainism exists everywhere, even when you're at work. Okay? And to try to emulate the Panch Purmestis, right? That is the purpose of that prayer. If you recite another prayer, it's a different purpose. And guess what? The purpose is in the words you're saying, okay? Know the meaning of the words you're saying, and that's why you recite that prayer. It is not for peace, it is not for this, it's not because my mom told you, it is because of the meaning of the prayer.
What I've felt is even...
1 second, we have one question here
just
first.
Related to every person has a different perspective or different reason of the prayer. and that is what he's praying for. One says, I bow down to, has a samarpan bhavana. Another says, I bow down to, has a bhavana of like, I want to achieve the things, the qualities of the God.
Uh-huh.
Another has just a meditation bhavana, saying, I want to just keep myself calm, so I'm going to use this mantra for the meditation.
Perfect.
Or
That's exactly what I said,
Someone
right?
is using it for out of,
I'm sorry to
out of
interrupt
the
you. It
trouble.
seems like exactly what I said, but
Yeah.
is that the question or is that the comment?
Means that is what I have been thinking, like everyone thinks differently and same mantra, different purpose.
Sure. Yeah. All the mantras have different purposes. Yes, Darshana.
So when my kids ask, why do we go to pray? Can you give me like 3 bullet points of what I can say to them?
Yes, absolutely. We pray because of Samvar, we pray because of Nirjara, and we pray based on the meaning of the prayer.
But they don't know even I don't know what the meaning of the words you just said. So,
Okay, no problem. Does anybody know what Samvar is? That's right. Samvar is blocking the karma that attached to your soul. Does anybody know what Nirjara is?
Shedding karma.
That's right. How come all of you know what Nirjara is and nobody knows what Samvar is? Okay, so Nirjara is shedding the karma that have already attached to your soul. And those are the reasons we pray. 1, the meaning of the prayer. 2, to practice Samvar. And 3, to practice Nirjara.
So now what do you say to a person who says, I don't feel like praying, but you're asking me to pray? Like kids saying like, I don't have mind into this.
Oh.
But you're saying, no, pray every day.
Okay. What will be a good thing, a good exercise to do is to have them do a self-reflection on how they feel before the prayer, do the prayer, explain the meaning of the prayer, and then have them do a kind of self-reflection on how they feel afterwards. And see if they can identify any difference and say, that's what I'm talking about when I say, oh, this helps you achieve a certain state of mind. Or that's what I'm talking about when I say, oh, we want to take deep breaths or count to 10. Or that's exactly this difference of feeling. And then hopefully they start to get it.
So I have only one more question. I don't know whether it's relevant to this.
No problem.
We like in a day, like say we may feel like 15 or 30 minutes like really doing something like this, and after that, even if we want to find a family or friends or something like that doing this kind of activities, we don't get it, we don't find it, so we lose that motivation actually. So I mean, it's great if we have like say 4 families or my friend's family or something, they are like really believe in all this thing, because this is really, because definitely we are here because this group is interested and we think like that way.
Right.
But not, you can see how many people are here and outside, so it's so difficult, so how do we continue and not like just think about it like a 10 or 15 minutes,
Right. We are here for you. Adults Class 2 Practical Applications of Jainism is here for you. That's why we're all here. We want to help you along the path. We want you to stay on the path, and we want you to help us stay on the path. So what should your priorities be? I will tell you. Number 1, soul. Number 2, health and safety. Number 3, family. Number 4, work. Number 5, community. Number 6, friends. What's the point of having a list, a numbered list? When one thing conflicts with another, when you have a choice of what to do, you pick the higher one and you have to let go of the lower one. Okay? So whenever you have some time to do something for your soul, and you also have that time to do something for work, guess which one you should be picking? Your soul, right? So notice how some of these priorities are the same as the list that I told you was bad, right? Family was on that list. Take care of family. Okay? But I'm saying that family should be your number 3 priority. The difference here is your intention. Okay? And that makes all the difference in the world. Before enlightenment, you chop wood and you carry water. After enlightenment, you chop wood and you carry water. Your actions are the same. Okay? But your entire world has changed. Okay? Now you're taking care of your family because they lift you up. They help you work on your soul. And you help them work on your soul. You're not taking care of your family just because you want praise from other people out there. Okay? Now you're doing your work because you want to survive to work on your soul in the evenings. Okay? You're not doing your work because you want prestige at work and because you want more money. You want money. You just want enough money to survive so you can have a place so you can do meditation. It's the same actions, but the intention is different, which makes it totally different. Which means that, when you have a chance to take that promotion and make more money, you might decline it, right?
So,
because you're like, I have enough money. Maybe I want to go home and be with my family. Maybe I want to go home and do meditation. I won't get that if I take that promotion. Okay, so you're still making money. You're still doing work, right? Yeah.
what is your take on once you have enough money to survive, what a person should do?
Well, you were here. Were you here when I asked everybody to retire?
Yes. No.
You weren't here? Okay, you should retire. If you have enough money, you should retire because then you can work on number one, your soul.
The problem is definition of enough.
Sure. Yeah.
I said survive.
You will be amazed at how little you need to retire. How little you spend. You will be amazed. So what does this have to do with Jainism? Well, your soul is your number one priority, but we haven't been treating it like it's our number one priority. It's the only thing that's going with you to your next life. These clothes aren't going with me. This body's not going with me. I'm not bringing my family to my next life. The only thing that I'm bringing is the soul and the karma attached to it. And I want to get rid of all that karma that's attached to it.
And 99% think about body.
Right. So let's go through the list again, okay? Your soul. We're working on the soul. What is health and safety? Our number 2 priority. Well, we want to stay healthy so we can do more nirdra, right? Number 3, family. I take care of them. I keep them on the spiritual path. They take care of me. They keep me on the spiritual path, okay? Number 4, work. You work to survive, to take care of your soul, okay? And once you have enough money to not work, guess what? You're done with it. You can let it go. It's like once this pen doesn't write anymore. It served this purpose, right? The pen, it served the purpose. I can let it go. I don't have to feel bad about it, okay? If you have enough money to retire and you're only 40, guess what? Congratulations, you win the game. You can let your work go and you don't have to feel bad about it. They want you to feel bad about it. Oh, you're not working? You not want to buy your family a new house? You don't want to do that? They're going to make you feel bad about it. This is the converse of letting them make you feel good. If you say, I have enough money. I have $100,000 in the bank. That's enough for me to retire. Who's going to pipe up? Your spouse might pipe up. Your kids might pipe up. The people outside are going to pipe up. They're going to say, you're a bad person. You're doing bad things. You're living a bad life. It's not true. It's not true. Your work has accomplished its goal. You're putting it away to focus on more important things. So why should you feel bad about it? You shouldn't. But they're going to try to make you feel bad. So if you don't let them make you feel good, you'll not let them make you feel bad. Community and friends, we keep each other accountable and we don't drift into hedonism and sin. So now let's look at the first list that I said was bad. Now that we have examined our life and we examined our intentions, and let's see, take care of family. Yes, I want to do that. That's my number 3 priority. Okay, they're going to keep me on the spiritual path. Never been to jail. No, it's not on my priority list, I can do as much Nirjara in jail as I can at home. Hi, Arya came into the room. All right, so we all know Arya just turned 11, right? We can see that. Here's the trick. That's just her body. Okay? Do you believe Arya is a soul?
Yes.
Yeah, most of you believe it. But here's the hard part. Do you believe that Arya has a soul that's as old as yours? If not older. Why? Oh, you see her in the body. You see the packaging. If you believe she has a soul, then you think her soul is the same age as you.
Can be.
Sure. Might be older. It's very hard. Okay? But we've got to try to do it. That will change the relationship you have with your children. When you start to see that they're a soul. Okay, let's continue on. Never been to jail. That's not on my priority list, okay? It's the people who benefits from me not being in jail. Some people will say you're a bad person if you've never been to jail because they stand up for what they believe in. And they go to jail for their beliefs, right? Pay taxes to support the community. That's not on my list, okay? Don't cause trouble. Some people will say you're a bad person if you don't cause trouble, okay? Moving up in the world, we talked about that. They're going to attack you when you retire early to work on your soul. And who are the people that are supposed to be supporting you? The people out there. Now you see why it's a conspiracy. They're going to talk about you if you retire at 42. And they won't talk about you in a good way. Because it's designed to trap you. That's why it's the biggest conspiracy in the world. You are nice. You're a nice person. Same thing. They're going to call you not nice. Oh, you're not taking care of your family because you retired.
Can I ask you a question on that? Don't attack. So this stuff that's happening in some of the universities where protesting without them just sitting and camping out in a non-violence, is that, again, there's no violence, but causing disturbance at a university where it's just to be, what is that perceived? How would that be perceived?
So it could be perceived in many different ways. It depends on who has control of the media, right? So in case you don't know what's going on, there is a protest among university students that are encamping on college campuses in a lot of times in violation of the law. It starts out not in violation of the law, but it becomes in violation of the law because when you have that many groups of, that many people in a group, what happens is there are lots of different intentions. Some people are like, I just want peace in the Middle East. Some people are like, I support the people of Gaza against the Israel's military who has killed X number of people over the last 3 months. Some people are agitators. People have all different kind of motivations in that group. And so your question was, well, how will it be perceived? Well, it will be perceived based on the media coverage and who controls the media.
But so if I was physically doing that, would it be considered wrong, considering the place is for educational purposes? Right? By default, is that not considered wrong? There's no violence. I'm just saying, assuming, I don't know what's happening, but it says they just sit there and camp out. Is that considered wrong?
So, let's say you are going, well, what is the reason you're sitting there and camping out? Tell me that first, because it matters, right? The intention with which we do things, or the reason for doing things matter, right? So you have to tell me the reason you're sitting there camping out.
Protesting the violence that's happening in the Middle East.
Okay. Now, are you corrupted by Hamas propaganda? You don't know if you are, right? Other people accuse you of being it,
yes.
Right? But you don't know, right? So the purpose with which you go, let's say, to the community square in college is you want to protest. You want, let's say, what is the purpose? Do you want the university to divest themselves of doing business with Israel? Or do you want the IDF to stop killing what in your mind are innocent civilians in the Gaza Strip? What is your purpose of being there?
Hey.
You don't know. Well, so the answer is it depends, right? It depends on the intention and the outcome that you want to have happen, because that's another way of saying intention. Okay? So I'll give you an answer. If you go and you camp out on the university square because you believe that Israel is killing Palestinians unjustly, and you sit there and you hold up a sign, and you don't commit violent actions, okay? And other people accuse you of causing a disturbance, okay? You will not get as much karma attached to your soul as if you were a political operative who is confusing people and is an agitator going there with the intention to promote violence. You didn't like that answer because you wanted to know, is this person right or is this person wrong? But there's only different amounts of rightness and wrongness. The answer I'm giving you is, based on your intentions, you're not as wrong. You won't attach as much karma to your soul as a person who does things for a different reason.
I just think it's a public university for education purposes, not meant for, and I guess people use it as, this is one reason, but I'm sure there's several other. If a homeless man came there, would it be wrong in just camping out on them?
What was the intention of the homeless person?
He just
Place to
wants
live.
like, yeah, nice places.
Place to live.
Yeah, perfect.
Anything. I mean,
Would it be wrong? From a Jainism perspective,
There's only different amounts of wrongness. Okay, you're asking, would it be wrong? And I hate to not answer your question, but it's all wrong, and we're just talking about different amounts of wrongness. And I'm trying to put a line in there and saying these people are much more wrong, and these people are much less wrong. Which is the best I can do for you. I can't make the answer satisfying. I can only tell you the truth. If the truth is unsatisfying, I can't do anything for you other than sympathize.
but I think to Ashish's point, the underlying, the objective of the university or the campus is from an education purposes, right? So if they are doing this, ideally they should do it somewhere outside.
Wait.
And not get connected.
That's one very minor purpose of the university that they pump up to be their major purpose. Otherwise, why would they spend so much on sports, and why would they have the endowment, and why would they be doing business with Israel in the first place? Like, so sure, that is they try to make it seem like that's 90% of their purpose, but it's a very small percentage of their purpose. They want to just keep on making money and keep on doing business.
That's what we feel. I agree. Business, a university are all businesses, but for the main ideology is supposed to be
it's like
a secure place for
right.
educational purposes, and now what happens from the operative business perspective has several other things.
Right.
So we can continue bringing more kids so they can learn to grow.
It's like a hospital, okay? They say that their number one purpose is to treat patients, but they make decisions opposite that.
Oh yeah.
If they don't make money, they're going to cut that service, okay? Yes. So it's like that, unfortunately. Other questions or comments? Okay, so let's talk about kids. It happened a bunch. We had it brought up a bunch about kids. So how can we use this? How can we teach our kids to use this? Remember we talked about the secret world? Mm-hmm. How do we get to the secret world? Do you remember?
I think.
Tell us.
There's a question.
Yes.
And you have to think about it a ton of different ways. And ask questions about that question to yourself.
But there's one question you ask about if somebody's talking to you.
Why are they telling me this?
That's right. Why is this person telling me this? Okay. Why is Thimir telling me this? Because Thimir cares about my soul. Okay. Why is this person at school telling me, hey, what did you get on the math test? Why is that person? Do they want to know what I got about on the math test? No. They want to judge themselves in relation and make them feel better about themselves if they got a better grade than me, or they want to see how smart I am, or they're trying to manipulate me, right? About why. So why is this? It seems like an innocent question. Hey, Arya, what'd you get on your math test? But then you have to go to the secret world and say, why is this person asking me this? And I'll give you another layer. Why is this person asking me this at this time, right? Why is this something happening at this time? And you can, what I encourage you guys to do is to, when you see a headline in the media, say, why is this coming up at this time? And then you'll start to get answers, okay? Then you'll start to see who benefits, cui bono, who's in control of the media, who is marching to the media's orders.
Timmy, so do we always have to ask these questions? Because sometimes I feel like if it doesn't affect me, I have other things to worry about.
Sure, it's hard. You always have to ask these questions. But pretty soon, the good news is that it becomes easier. Okay? It's hard at first.
When we question this why, our mind works differently based on what mood I'm in. I might even think negative, and then I start building the negativity in my mind and the relation. So it is all depends on how elevated you are when you are asking this, because you are asking this just for your sole purpose. But if you're not elevated, you would be like, why is he? Yeah, he's like always like this. Yeah. Kind of negative thinking also can start it.
That's why emotions are your enemy, because they filter your experience to cause you to experience untruth. That's why we talk about getting rid of our anger, ego, deceit, and greed, because they are our enemies.
I have a statement or question, I guess. When you try to answer the why yourself, you're making a lot of assumptions, right? But shouldn't you ask the question to the person who's talking to you? Like, why are you asking me this? Or why are you telling me this?
That's one way to find an answer, sure. Ask them. Why do you want to know what I got on the math test? But do you think they'll tell you the reason?
No.
Again, that is an assumption whether he said it right or wrong.
Yeah, correct or lie. Yeah.
The example you're giving seems pretty innocuous kid examples, but this happens in the adult world a lot, right? Mm-hmm. Somebody calls you up and be like, did you see what Jumpa Ben was wearing at the party last week?
Jumpa Ben, that was
okay, so that's going somewhere. Everyone knows there's a motivation and there's gossip, but then you got to step back and be like, what is that person's relationship and where is she pegging herself versus whoever and where it's coming from? And you can answer the question, but if you fall into the trap of getting on Chimpa Ben's back, it's gonna just make things worse for everybody.
But you have some good friends around you.
So, how do we get our kids to understand what we've talked about today? That is, who benefits? Follow the money. How do we explain it to our kids?
You play them your lesson.
No, this is the lesson. But we haven't talked about how to get it to the kids. They can understand it, but kids don't understand about, the media is controlled by only 3 large companies in the whole world, and Rupert Murdoch's at the head of it, and he controls conservative narrative in Australia and Europe and the US. Kids don't understand that, right? But how do we explain it so they understand it? Who benefits?
Maybe these questions would help them at their level and their thinking and environment. Like our is different because we more into. So I think if they start from there, then it would help them in every part of life.
Right, and we're supposed to be pros at this by now. We're supposed to be able to talk to kids about abstract concepts in a way that they understand by making it relevant to their life. So I try to make it relevant by asking, it's about your relationships at school. Okay? We try to make Jainism relevant by asking, it's about what we eat, right? We try to make it relevant by having it benefit their life and showing them that their quality of life will increase by following the concepts of Jainism, hopefully by being an example, right? But, I told Arya just the other day, it was like, oh, the reason I'm patient is because of Jainism and because of this and because of that, and that's why I'm a little bit patient with you more than other kids. Maybe parents are patient with them, because I try to stay calm, because Jainism helped me in my life, things like that. So hopefully, if we're a good example, that will rub off on the kids, but that doesn't mean we still don't have to try to do the work to explain it to them. It's a lot of work too.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Questions or comments about anything we talked about today? Does anybody want to take the class next week? I'm out of town. I'm going to go to UT for graduation. Anybody want to take the class? It's a great way to learn about to teach people something but it's a better way to learn about something you've always wanted to learn about in Jainism, because you'll be very motivated in the week before Sunday to be like, oh, I got to figure out what's going on so I can teach it.
What if you just teach it on like a Zoom or something?
From Austin?
Yeah, sure.
I can't do that. No, because all these people have to tune in, and it's a logistical nightmare.
It can be one computer.
And also, we're going to be on the road, I think, at that time too.
Your dad's thinking right now, why is she saying this?
Yeah.
She's saying this because she loves me and she wants to help me with my problem, because none of you love me and none of you are stepping up to take the discussion next week. Questions or comments about anything we talked about? Thank you so much for your time this week. I really appreciate that.
Thank you very much for bringing such amazing topics and I'm not even aware about. So thank you very much for your
No problem.
efforts.
Happy to do it.
Really.
Amazing.
Thank you to everybody online.
Thank you.
Thank you.